Welcome back. Grab a cup of coffee and get comfortable because today we are diving into a brand new explainer as part of the Mike is Outside research review series. We spend so much time on the show talking about the pure mechanics of aging, right? The biology, the specific diets, making sure you hit your daily step counts. But today we're zooming in on the human element of aging well. And to really understand that, we're looking straight at a literal masterclass from Japan. So let me ask you a question right out of the gate, and I really want you to think about this for a second. Where do you go to feel connected? And actually, hold on, I don't mean your living room with your family, and I definitely don't mean the water cooler at your office. When those two things are totally stripped away, especially after you retire, where is that physical space you go to just be part of a community? For a lot of folks in the real world, the answer is suddenly nowhere. The structure of work completely disappears, the social calendar just totally empties out. Finding a genuine community post-retirement is honestly one of the great quiet struggles of modern life. And that struggle is exactly why we need to look to Japan for answers. 30%. Right now, nearly 30% of Japan's entire population is aged 65 or older. That is a massive demographic shift. They are one of the most rapidly aging societies on the planet. And get this, that number is projected to hit an astounding 38.4% by 2065. Because of this, Japan has literally been forced to innovate. They aren't just sitting around theorizing about how to handle an aging population, they're actively living it. They're building solutions in real time. And the whole world really needs to pay attention to what they're getting right. Okay, let's dive straight into the actual research. This is a fascinating study published in the 2026 World Leisure Journal by researchers M. Hansen and N. Fujita. They basically wanted to investigate exactly how regular group exercise classes function for older adults in a Japanese city called Tsukuba. So they went in and conducted semi-structured one-on-one interviews with 36 older adults across 3 different local community centers. And the average age of these participants? About 80 years old. Many of them had been retired for decades. They interviewed regular members and, crucially, they also interviewed the local elderly volunteers who actually step up to lead these classes. It's just a fantastic on-the-ground look at real people finding connection. To truly understand the magic happening over in Tsukuba, we have to look at the core framework the researchers used. Have you ever heard of the third place? It's this brilliant concept coined by a sociologist named Ray Oldenburg way back in 1989. Basically, your first place is your home. Your second place is your workplace. The third place is that informal public hangout spot. It's totally neutral ground, it's super accessible, and it's where regulars gather just to chat and enjoy a playful, low-stakes mood. Think of like a local cafe, a neighborhood park, or your favorite pub. So the researchers wanted to know, can a local municipal group exercise class actually function as a genuine third place for 80-year-olds who don't have a workplace anymore? And the answer was a resounding yes. But here is the absolute wild card in all of this. And honestly, this was the biggest surprise for me. When we think about building a community or staying physically fit, we almost always assume it requires some grueling daily gym routine, right? Like you have to be sweating it out at 6 a.m. every single day to see any results. Well, the research showed that these participants were getting massive social and physical benefits from classes that met only once or twice a month. Yeah, you heard that right, just once or twice a month. These incredibly low-frequency gatherings provided enough consistency for them to foster deep social integration, maintain lifestyle balance, and genuinely have something to look forward to on their calendar. You absolutely do not need an exhausting, everyday commitment to fight off isolation. It's a total game changer. This study also highlights this really stark contrast and how different cultures handle aging. In Western, more individualistic societies, like here in the US or in Europe, active aging is very often framed as just your personal responsibility. You're supposed to go out and buy an expensive private gym membership, or maybe your health insurance sets up some highly structured corporate program. But in Japan, the approach is deeply rooted in collectivism. There's this profound sense of communal responsibility. They have these long-standing cultural traditions like Rajyo Taiso, which is radio calisthenics, and the pursuit of Ikigai, meaning your reason for being or your purpose in life. So instead of driving alone to a private commercial gym, these Japanese seniors are gathering in free municipal spaces, and the classes are often led by their own peers right from the neighborhood. Now, I want to spend a minute talking about what this means in real life. If you're an urban planner, a public health official, or even just a community organizer watching this explainer right now, consider the Tsukuba City model your ultimate professional playbook. How do we actually build better communities? Well, first, you have to utilize existing public spaces. We have to stop waiting for multi-million-dollar recreation centers to get greenlit. We need to unlock the local community halls, the schools, the neighborhood parks we already have so people don't have to travel far. Accessibility is everything. Second, remove the financial barriers. The Japanese classes are completely free. When you throw up a paywall, you immediately lock out the most vulnerable and isolated seniors. Third, partner up. Tsukuba has this municipal health promotion facility called Ikigai Plaza, and they provide funding and send out licensed instructors just once a month to support the grassroots stuff. It's a perfect public-private synergy. And finally, and this is literally the linchpin of the whole operation, you must empower the elderly residents themselves to lead these groups. When health professionals step back and let locals take ownership, it builds an authentic, deep-rooted trust that government money just cannot buy. And that brings us to a really powerful conclusion from the researchers themselves and what this actually means for the rest of us. They noted that the demonstrated value of these low-frequency groups presents a perfectly scalable model for addressing massive global challenges like aging and social isolation. They basically proved that tackling these huge issues doesn't require billions of dollars in high-tech infrastructure. It just requires scalable, accessible, human-centric spaces. So what does this mean personally for folks in the real world? Well, it means shifting our mindset. If you're worried about your aging parents, or if you're looking at your own retirement horizon, you don't need to force them or yourself into a highly expensive daily program that just feels overwhelming. You can build an affirming, safe space by simply finding a local room, inviting a few neighbors, and committing to just a couple of days a month. It completely shifts the burden. Instead of the heavy guilt of, I need to go to the gym every single day, it becomes the joy of, I get to see my neighbors on the first Tuesday of the month. It makes community building incredibly achievable. Which brings us full circle, right back to you. I'm going to ask you again, where is your third place? After diving into this research, it is crystal clear that we can't just sit around and wait for a community to magically form around us, especially as we get older and our social circles naturally begin to shrink. We have to actively seek it out. Or even better, we have to be the ones to create it. And remember, it absolutely does not have to be a high-pressure everyday commitment. Maybe your third place is a neighborhood walking group that meets every other Tuesday. Maybe it's a stretching circle at the local community center, a book swap in your apartment lobby, or just getting coffee in the park once a month. The science unequivocally shows that even that small, low-frequency spark is enough to keep us healthy, integrated, and genuinely happy. Thanks so much for hanging out and exploring this incredibly important topic with me today. I absolutely love sitting down and unpacking these studies with you all, but the journey doesn't stop here. Make sure to keep exploring and check out the other explainers in the Mike is Outside Research Review series, where we take complex research and break it down into real, actionable insights for our everyday lives. Until next time, go find your third place, take care of your neighbors, and I'll see you in the next review.